guys, and
Welcome back.
So if you're joining here and you did not watch part one, you should most definitely watch part one of this video. So we are doing unpopular opinions in the Sarah J. Maas universe. And this is major spoilers of ACOTAR, Crescent City, Throne of Glass, everything Sarah J. Maas. If you have not read them and you don't want them to be spoiled, please click on to another video. Please do not stay for this video.
Better yet, go read them.
Yes, actually, please go read them and then come back and watch these videos because we have lots of thoughts and opinions about these videos and these books. In the last video, it took us like 30 minutes to get through 5 unpopular opinions when I originally had 15. So we'll see how many we get through, but we're having fun. So,
Let's get to it.
Okay. So, question technically number 6, but number 1. I don't get the Elaine hype. She is boring and whiny. I don't understand why the fandom made a big deal out of her character. She's literally a background character.
Ooh. Well, Sarah knows that I agree.
This might be... No, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say the first one that we disagree on. Well, but I don't think that's particularly true.
Yes. I think that that unpopular opinion is very harsh. Like, I don't agree to that extent of her being, like, whiny and, like, irrelevant.
How can somebody be whiny if they barely ever talk? Just saying.
So true. If anyone is whiny, it's Nesta. Love her to death.
And we love Nesta, but I feel like she's more whiny than Elaine.
Yes. I have love for Elaine because she's one of the sisters, just like I have love for Az, but he's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But we still haven't gotten a book from them.
Yeah. You know, most people hated Nesta before we got Nesta's book. So I feel like it's a little unfair
to her
to judge Elaine so harshly before we've gotten a book from her POV.
Yes.
But I pretty much agree. I think, like, as of right this second, it's kind of true. Like, Elaine is the most boring sister. She's the quietest and has the least to say.
Wants to play with her flowers.
Yeah.
And I don't think she gets enough heat like Nesta does for letting her baby sister go and hunt.
She doesn't.
People act like Elaine's the baby, and it makes me very mad.
Because she's not.
It's because she's got baby energy.
She does.
Because she just wants to frolic in her flowers and not talk to anyone and bake, and that's that.
I wonder if, like,
Elaine
was Sarah J. Maas's way of like low-key adding like a mental disorder in for like one of the characters. I don't know if she's never said that before, but like just like she really does like act like something's not quite right up there. And I feel like once we get her book from her POV, or even if she's like I feel like everybody knows that Akosif was Nesta's book, but it was also Cassian's book. It was Nesta's book, but it was also Cassian's book. So not saying that Elaine Real is 100% a thing, but like if that is where she's going with this, I feel like then we're about to get a whole lot of
and then
Elaine.
We can make our decision on whether we like her or not.
Yeah.
Same with Nesta.
Yeah.
But
gotta give her moment to shine.
Let her baby sister fend for herself.
And then when she goes out and like kills an animal for them, she's like, "Oh, but I need new boots." Like, your sister's out there hunting in the forest with
feed y'all.
Boots falling off of her feet that they're so like wrecked, and you're over here like, "I need a new cloak. I need new boots." Like, okay. They were both selfish. They were both messed up and selfish.
And I can forgive her,
but Nesta got her.
Nesta.
Yes, Nesta got her moment.
Yes.
And I think Elaine deserves hers too.
We've talked about this before, but I feel like Elaine has so much untapped potential.
Yes.
Where I would love her to go evil. don't know if that will happen, but I think it'd be really cool with like her being a seer.
Yeah.
And like going evil. My personal theory that I want to happen is her getting in a relationship with Tamlin. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Tamlin, who is currently in his beast form, roaming around his manor like Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
So, like, Feyre was not his beauty. I feel like Elaine could be. She has the potential to slay him, take over the Spring Court, and then maybe you can throw Lucian in if you want. I don't care.
I don't care where you go with it, but
I feel like it'd be cool to
High
see her.
Lady of the Spring Court.
Yes,
just saying,
not taking a man at all, or taking Az, or just going evil. And like Az can have Miss Gwen.
I feel like Az would never leave the Night Court though.
Same. But I don't think Elaine belongs in the Night Court at all.
No,
like she does not give Night Court vibes. She gives Spring Court vibes. Even true. Autumn.
Yeah, any vibes but Night Court. Literally. She really doesn't fit Night Court.
Like I feel like even Nesta fits Night Court.
Yeah, she definitely does.
You know, but Elaine does not. But I feel like she has so much potential to become a cool character.
Yeah.
But I also don't necessarily think every single character has to be the best thing known to man with the best powers, the coolest.
Yeah, we don't have to love everybody.
We need side characters. She can remain one if she wants, but not if she's going to get with our ass. That's where I'll end that.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways, next question. Okay, same question as number 3, but Gwen. So number 3, sorry, not number 3, as like the last question.
Oh, that Gwen's a side character.
That Gwen is boring and whiny and basically just a background character. Sarah even said herself, this is like somebody else's quote, not mine. So I don't know where they're getting this from, but Sarah even said herself that she's a background character and I do not believe she will have any relevance in the story going forward. I 100% believe that she was just somebody throwing people off of Elaine and Asriel.
Okay, no.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there. Sorry, that was a long one. But
no.
I want to know, where are they getting this from? That Sarah said that?
Because when did Gwen first pop up? Was it like the last book as a librarian in the library?
I don't remember her being in the last book. I thought she was introduced for the first time in Nesta's book.
Maybe. Like, I think so, but I feel like there
was a moment sure, like, where that she was like,
don't the librarians marry Rhysand and Feyre? They like have to go to the library that Gwen was put in.
Yeah.
And I feel like they discussed her background before discussing it in ACOTAR with like Az and the unfortunate circumstances of her coming into that.
I don't know.
But I don't necessarily think, again, she's had way less time than Elaine.
That's true.
First of all, to make an impression. I don't necessarily think she's boring.
I don't think she's boring either.
She has a lovely friendship with Nesta and Emery.
Yeah.
If anything, Emery is boring. I don't know her very well. But
like why Gwen? People just hating on Gwen because they like Elaine.
Because, they want Elaine to be with Az. Which I still don't know who I want to be with.
I don't either. I really can't decide either. Once Sarah J. Maas decides is when I'll be okay with whatever she chooses.
Like, I can't.
She is the queen.
It's just because Az is so silent, I don't know who's best for him. I will say, bad part on Az for giving Elaine's necklace to Gwen.
Anyways.
But no, I don't agree with that. And, like, she's come from nothing. Like, her original story with her, was she raped? And her twin sister was killed?
I think so.
And Az came and got her and brought her to the library with the women.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's like a pretty good,
right? That was
I think
her.
so. Yeah, I think that is, yeah. And then she, you know, you learn more about her in Nesta's book. And she also becomes a Valkyrie. Like, it's not just Nesta.
Yeah.
She was just the main character. And has, like, death power. But, no, I don't agree.
Yeah. This one didn't really make a ton of sense to me, and I was hoping maybe you could help me unpack this a little bit.
All right.
But it has to do with this same topic, so we're just going to move on to this one. Asriel's bonus chapter completely closed the door on Asriel and Elaine. This is not CC3 bonus chapter. This is bonus chapter in one of the ACOTAR books. So, Asriel's bonus chapter completely closed the door on Asriel and Elaine. No, I won't fight with anybody, but that whole scene was metaphorical. Necklace received, Rhys interrupts, necklace was taken off and returned. Both parties walk away unscathed, door closed. There is no Elaine and Asriel.
Do you have any thoughts? I don't agree.
Okay.
Because of okay, so he just spent the last however many hundreds of years pining after one person, Miss Moore, and just like going with that unrequited love.
Yeah.
And then he has an interest in another person and is immediately shut down. So, like, I feel like that doesn't
just mean that he's done for good.
Yes.
Never.
I feel like again. He was just rejected and like is taking that in. He made a dumb move and gave it to Gwen.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with. But I don't think that means that's the end of them.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Just because of the necklace.
Now,
I think that's going to be a point of contention for sure.
I was going to say, now I don't think that that's going to be like
brushed under the rug.
Like I definitely think if she is going to put Elaine and Asriel together, that is definitely going to be a little issue.
Has she seen Gwen wearing the necklace yet? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
And now Gwen is besties with her sister.
Yeah.
T. Which we didn't put. I will say, she doesn't have the magic hoo-ha.
What?
Nesta made her pelvis and Feyre's pelvis able to carry winged children. She did not do that for Elaine.
Magic hoo-ha.
However, I think Gwen can, because isn't she like a nymph or something? She's something.
I don't know. I don't really remember that many of those details.
Well, I do.
I don't remember like what.
But no, like.
Is.
I don't either, really. But I feel like she maybe could carry his children. But I don't think Elaine. She didn't change Elaine's like pelvis to accommodate Illyrian wings. She only did Feyre and hers.
I wouldn't be surprised if Asriel did not want children.
I would also agree with that.
Just saying.
Yes. But I feel like Elaine could be very motherly.
That's true.
And you want to know who probably wants a lot of kids? Lucian. Especially with his mate.
But I've always said this, and I don't know if Sarah J. Maas will do this, but I've always been interested to see what would happen if mates did not accept the bond.
Yeah.
Because it is a bond that has to be accepted. It's not just like, oh, you're mates and so you're together. Like,
yeah. No, it's meant to, there's a whole ritual around it for a reason. You have to feed them.
Yeah.
Guy.
Which, by the way, she did talk about that in the first one, that like, or in ACOTAR, about like feeding, the whole feeding thing and like accepting the food. But none of her other books did that. And I've always wondered, why was it just ACOTAR that they talked about the whole like feeding was an accepting of the mating bond? Aelin and Rowan didn't ever do that. Bryce and Hunt literally had a conversation one day where they were like,
yes.
"You think we're mates?
Yeah.
I think we're mates. All right. We'll call each other mates."
Yeah. And then they had their...
So, like, why does it get... Like, why is it different in every universe? You know? Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I don't... Yeah. So we don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Okay. Next one. Okay. Rune carried Crown Prince of the Valbar Fae. Rune carried Crescent City. He was basically the only character I wanted to read about. No. First part, kind of. Yes. Second part, no.
I think he carried the last
book. The end, for sure.
The first book, I did not care about her older brother and his frat house.
Yes, me too. First book, I couldn't care less about Rune.
Really couldn't. But him and Lydia. Yeah. Really. It's once he starts being Agent Knight. The second
he's Agent Knight, it was like really when it turned it up for me, and I was like,
other than that, okay. He was mean to his little sister.
Yeah. He was like he was just a spoiled rich boy.
Frat boy, spoiled. He just wants to party and drink even though he's hundreds of years old. Yeah. Still in a little frat house.
Pretty much. He was like a Dorian times 1,000. Yeah. Like Dorian book 1.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love his little aesthetic.
Which I did
about piercings and his...
I did about Dorian too.
Yeah. But no. I don't think he carried it, especially in the first book. The first book
not the first book for sure.
By Bryce.
But if you're talking about specifically Crescent City 2 and 3, specifically 3.
Yeah, I would say
I would say he kind of did.
He did kind of carry that.
He did kind of carry the ending. Mm-hmm. But
I didn't just care about him or just wanted to read about him. I agree. Loved when it came around, but I also
was interested in other people.
Yeah. You know who I didn't really care about?
Therian. Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. I actually, in the second book, I did like Therian's point of view. In the third book,
he just kept making bad decisions over and over.
Like, what are you doing?
He's like, how can I top my last decision and make it worse?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Pretty much.
But yeah, Rune Dannon he knew 3 things with absolute certainty.
So, the next one.
Okay.
I can't wait to see what you think about this one. Because I actually don't know. We've never really talked about this. Okay. But I have a feeling we're on the same page. Moore started off strong, but Sarah left her in the background, and she's becoming irrelevant to anything. She's not a queen, not a high lady. Her power isn't truth, as it is pointed out multiple times how she spins lies endlessly. Everyone is mad at Eris because of her, and he's not the one who beat her. I also think Moore is like the 13 and will get one big power blast and then she'll be gone. There was a lot to unpack there, sorry.
Okay. Moore did in fact start out strong. Yeah. She is who carried Feyre out of the manor.
Literally. I'll never forget that scene.
So good. She is who kind of acclimates Feyre to the Night Court because she hates, Rhys.
Yeah. Because Feyre hates Rhys. Not Moore.
Yeah. She's also his cousin. And, he goes to her for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, she did start off really strong. And then when you learn about what happened to her, obviously you feel pity for her. I don't really remember that whole scene. I don't really remember what all went down.
Yeah.
I know she needed to be, a virgin, and then she slept with Cassian.
Yeah.
Not as.
Yeah.
That was drama, and then because of that, all of Lucian's brothers beat her up, but not Eris.
Yeah.
But everyone's mad at Eris because that's who she was supposed to marry.
I think so.
I think that's the gist of that. But I don't even remember very well, though.
Yeah.
And can she have kids? Did they do something to her womb?
I think you're mixing her up with
Astrid.
The 13.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
So you're like,
I think it's time for a reread. But yeah, I agree with that first part for sure. She's definitely in the background. I feel like through the ending books of ACOTAR, I don't see her much. She doesn't do much. She doesn't say much. Like,
yeah,
I don't remember her part in anything except for her. Like, they don't want her to unleash more. You don't want us to unleash her. Like them keep. I'm like, I don't remember what her power is. To be quite,
I don't either.
I don't remember.
Like she really is,
but like
just fallen into.
And I don't know if
character.
if he ever unleashed her. I need to reread it.
No, I don't think he does.
Because they kept like he was her last resort, and I wonder what would happen if he does. Man, I need to reread those.
Yeah,
I do not remember.
It's been a while.
But yeah, I like the fact that I can't even remember it does say a lot. You know? I don't remember me.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I don't know if like I think that says something in and of itself that we can't remember, and we've reread these books.
That's very true.
Multiple times.
Very true. And like I remember a lot. Of this series. I've literally read the whole.
In the inner circle. Isn't she his second?
Yeah.
Like she is his second, and then it's Amryn, and then it's the boys.
Yes. Yeah. There's a reason for that, ladies and gents.
But I feel like in Az's book, there might be a little bit of a more Emery type of thing going on.
Okay.
I could see that happening, and us care more about her then. But as of right now, I don't really care about her. I feel like, you know what? I do feel like it could go out like the 13, where another battle happens, and they finally have to use more, and then she dies
with one big bang.
Yeah,
of a death.
And then saves everyone.
I could see that happening too. Very, very possible. Yeah, but I do actually kind of agree with this one.
Yeah, same.
I agree that she started off
really
strong and now is just a background character basically, and that I can definitely see her using her for one last big shebang.
It hurts a lot of people too.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, then the next one, Bryce and Hunt were the most painful to read about. I don't care for either of them. The only point of reading Crescent City is for the crossover. Otherwise, it would be DNF'd.
It's not the only point, okay, to read Crescent City for
Definitely
the crossover.
Not the only point.
They are my least favorite main character couple.
Me too.
Out of the main three,
me too.
Least favorite. I think they made a mockery of mates.
Yeah.
I think it, like, their whole first conversation about, oh, but we're not really boyfriend and girlfriend, are we? We're something more. We're mates.
Yeah.
And then ran with it.
Cheesy.
And then they had, like, their spicy time, and that's when, like, the bond clicked or something like that. Yeah. They, like, transported, I don't even know. Teleported.
Yeah.
And they were on, like, the submarine thing.
Yeah.
It was real weird.
It was weird.
But that shouldn't have been how that went down, I don't think. I think she totally, like, SGM made it so much less than she made the others when they're being mates, which I feel like makes sense in their world because they're not as traditional, and Bryce really isn't traditional.
Which is, like, if the mating bond is the equivalent to marriage in our society, it is kind of that way. Yeah. Whereas it used to be more, like, traditional, and now it's not as traditional, and it's not just I don't know, so it does kind of make sense that she did that, but Bryce and Hunt are my least favorite, that's for sure. But
especially
I would not
this last book.
Oh yeah, I did not.
The bickering and Bryce just not getting Hunt needed some reassurance. And like some time to process things.
I mean, Hunt learned a lot about himself in this last book. He's probably having a mid-century crisis.
Not a mid-century. That's funny.
Sorry, guys, but I'm in the midst of my mid-century crisis right now.
I just found out I'm a test tube baby.
Basically.
Man.
Yeah. Crazy.
They
that
are
last part, when they're like, the whole point of reading Crescent Cities for the crossover.
I would say that is for the second book for sure.
Kind of, yeah.
But then when you actually get a crossover, it's very mid. Like, I expected a lot more.
Yeah, me too. I legit thought there was going to be like
2 characters. But
I thought it was going to be like a whole thing.
Like a lot of it was just lead up for Az's book. She threw Az as,
because Azriel was like main character. Like literally, Azriel got more spotlight in Crescent City 3 than he did in any of the ACOTAR books.
Yes, and I think that there was a point to that for him it not being Cassian, because you would think it would be Cassian and Nesta.
I know, but it wasn't.
No, it was Az.
But it does make sense that it was Az because he has
his shadow, his abilities.
No, his sword.
So or his dagger.
And she has the sword.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So it did make sense that she needed it to be Azriel, but then why Nesta?
She very well could have made like Ataraxia, like Nesta's blade, the twin blade, and made that a dagger inside. Like, yeah, like it didn't have to be. I just think she did that purposefully for like Az's type of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that was to get people more excited about Azriel's book for sure.
Yeah, it was just very mid. Like,
you're right, it was.
I mean, Ember and Randall got to see more than we did.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's so true. It was mid.
It really was. Like, I was so hyped after you read the last like couple pages of CC2.
Yeah.
Like, craziest thing to ever occur. That crossover happening. And then we didn't really get a true crossover. It was just 2 of the characters walking around in the caves for hours.
Yep. Period. That's all they did. That's really what it felt like. That's all they did.
They killed like an Astarian. Like, they did do stuff.
They did.
There was a Midgard worm.
Feel.
I was like, oh, hi, buddy.
I was like, missed you.
Still got the same.
We were just watching Dune, by the way, and there was like basically a Midgard worm in Dune. I mean that like there's this sand worm, and it's basically like that.
The Midward.
It's kind of similar.
Midgard.
And I was like telling Jack that like I was like, in ACOTAR, that's what you got to picture right there. That thing, that's
Midgard, and not
because everybody jokes that it's the oh my gosh, what do they call it? I know because you weren't.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch SpongeBob. It was it'll come to me at the most random point, and I'll remember what that thing was called. But, anyways, Great Alaskan Bullworm. That's what that was called. Anyways, next question. Nesta and her friends not dying in the right is unrealistic. Honestly, the entire ending of ACOSF is rushed and didn't really make sense.
I kind of agree with that.
I also agree. I feel like
there was too much training.
Yes, and too much of Nesta bonding with the house, and then too little rushed of an ending
of the actual blood right.
The actual blood right. It was so rushed when it actually came. It was like, whoa, what just happened?
Who didn't one of the girls get injured? And someone has to carry someone up the mountain or whatever.
Yes,
one of them should have died. Emery,
I think it's Emery.
She should have died. Because we would have been sad, but she's a side character, so does she really matter? But she wants her to get with more. I already know it.
I can see that happening.
So I do agree.
I agree.
I do think it was rushed. The whole point was leading up to this blood right, and it happened in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And all the training is for that.
When the book is literally like 800 pages.
It's very big.
So it's like not like she was trying to squeeze it all into like a 300, 400 page book. It was literally an 800 page book. Like she had plenty.
She was trying to do her same thing that she does with all the books where the last 100 pages is crazy.
Yeah.
Which I don't think necessarily always has to happen.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
amazing and great, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like too much all at once.
Yes. I would agree. I love Nesta.
Yeah. We only have a few more left, and I feel like we can semi-rapid fire these.
Okay.
Maybe not this next one. I don't know.
Okay.
SJM manipulated the fan base to prefer Reese over Tamlin.
I agree. I'm not a Tamlin girly.
I'm also not a Tamlin girly, but I do agree that Miss Maas 100% manipulated the fan base to love Reese.
Because, okay, listen here, y'all. The first book, we all loved Tamlin. Yeah. Even when Rhysand was there, and some of the girls who always...
Even when Rhysand was there.
We... Like, the girls who always go for, like, the bad boys.
Yeah.
Even when them loving them, they still love Tamlin.
Yes.
We all love Tamlin.
I'm always the girly that loves the bad boy. I love me a morally great character. I love an enemies to lovers. But when I was reading the first ACOTAR book, and the other two were out at the time, and I had heard that a ton of people were Rhysand girlies, and I literally told Abby, I don't understand how she's going to fix his character, because as of right now, I can't stand him, and I can't see loving him. And Abby was like, keep reading. And so I definitely did. And as I was like reading through, obviously most people, I've never met an ACOTAR fan that is not a Rhysand girly. Never met. Which is also part of what's so interesting about the fact that most people love Rhysand from Feyre's point of view, but nobody else's. Why is that when we read Rhysand from anybody else's point of view but Feyre's, nobody likes him?
That's why I think Tamlin could be redeemed.
I also think Tamlin could be redeemed.
So I wouldn't be mad if we got a Tamlin book. Not gonna lie.
I feel like Tamlin was made out to be a little bit worse than he actually was. Like, I get that it wasn't right to be like locking Feyre up in the house, but
totally
you know what?
Ignored
Rhysand locked Nesta up in the house. So can we not, like, how hypocritical are we if we say that was so wrong of Tamlin to do, but Rhysand did the same thing? We're like, oh,
he also lied to Feyre for her whole pregnancy.
Like, literally, she could have died.
Yeah, but honestly,
she could have died.
I can see from points of views where I wouldn't want my husband to tell me either. I would just want him to fix it and just move along. But I don't think it's right for him to lie about her potentially dying and her child probably dying. But yeah, like, he's done so much wrong too. We just know because we were in Feyre's point of view, and she was also going through a lot. Yeah. And Tamlin wasn't helping at all. He was just, let's get married, let's do this, whatever. That's just because they weren't right for each other.
Yeah.
I could low-key see Elaine some perfect little spring bride.
I kind of see it too. I'm
being very content. I'm not on just being protected and not wanting to,
because I don't particularly think Tamlin was the bad guy. And you know what? That's an unpopular opinion right there. I don't think Tamlin is particularly the bad guy. I think he wasn't right for Feyre.
Yes.
But I don't think that he was like
did
evil.
Wrong things, but I don't think he's evil. He was literally trying to save the humans and all the people.
Yeah.
I will say, during the trials, him just doing like nothing.
Really was it was bad. A little, I
think it's because he didn't believe that Feyre could save them.
Yeah.
Which, again, Feyre isn't his mate. It makes sense. He's Rhysand's mate.
Yeah.
Always been Rhysand's mate. Since even like when she was living in the human realm, he was getting his little dreams of her.
Yeah.
Like, always.
Yep.
So
there's some tea right there. We just threw in our own unpopular opinion.
I low-key don't hate Tamlin.
Which we kind of just answered the next question.
But like, listen, like what SJM did with Chaol. We all hated Chaol.
That's true.
And then she gives us his book, and it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Me too.
I love that book.
Me too. I will say a lot of people either refuse to read Tower of Dawn, which I do not agree with. Please don't do that.
Just, skip a whole book. Whatever.
You're doing yourself a disservice if you miss the whole book. But
at that point, stop reading your books then, because you're making me mad.
Anyways, moving on. But some people still don't like Kale even after his book, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Not every character is going to be your cup of tea, and that's okay. I actually feel like Nesta's still not really my cup of tea, and
she is mine.
Like I feel like she's all right. I read her whole book. I don't mind to read her book. It's totally fine, but she's definitely not my favorite character, and probably will never be one of my top favorite characters. Mm-hmm. And that's just because she's just not my cup of tea, and that's okay. And some people will feel that way about Kale, and that's fine. You go ahead and feel that way about Kale.
I don't think you shouldn't read either one of their books.
Agreed.
Same thing if she comes out with a Tamlin book.
Yes.
I wouldn't hate like a Tamlin novella or something if she doesn't want to make a whole book for him, or throwing in his POV.
Yeah. I agree. So the next one we kind of already answered, which I knew these last two were going to be like pretty rapid fire, but this is Tamlin deserves his redemption arc, or at least to be involved in storylines that don't involve Feyre.
Yes,
100%.
He is the only High Lord that does not have a wife, right?
Yeah.
Well, Helion.
Oh, you're right.
And whoever the Dusk Lord is, I don't think we ever met the Dusk Lord guy.
Did we? I don't remember that.
No, neither do I. But there's a girl out there for Tamlin.
I agree.
And maybe he'll learn this time around, and I think he would let her be a High Lady.
Yeah.
I think he probably would have learned his lesson.
Yeah.
And
don't get me wrong, Tamlin said some like nasty stuff at them Spring Court meetings or the High Lord meetings.
Yes.
But like
he was hurt. Like, I mean,
I'm not trying to make excuses. Like he should also apologize.
Regardless of if he deserved it or not, Feyre literally destroyed his court. Like destroyed it. Literally. Inside out, everyone hates him. Literally. So him making a comment about their like sex life, I don't necessarily think, like, I probably would be that petty too.
Yeah,
like if I'm being honest.
It was pretty petty. Yeah. But like, I don't know.
I
don't think that he's like the worst person in the world and doesn't deserve anything ever. Are you ready for the last one?
Yeah.
It's a really easy one. We've basically answered it a million times.
Okay.
I like Crescent City more than ACOTAR and TOG.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
What world?
Crescent City series is my least favorite of all three. Mm-hmm. And I will stand by that no matter how many times I reread it. As of right now, Throne of Glass is my number 1, ACOTAR is my number 2, and Crescent City is my number 3. And that's just the way it's going to be. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is.
Because if you look at it right now, they're technically all complete.
Yes.
They're technically all...
Technically, right now, they're all complete. You can
still add on to them, but technically...
Yeah.
The 3 main storylines are completed.
Yeah. Ish.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously she's writing Azriel's book right now. But,
yes, but
still.
Like, 3 big wars happened, and that's that.
Yep.
So... TOG. ACOTAR. Crescent City. I love the first book, don't get me wrong. Love it, and I love the crazy things she pulled. Yeah. But it's just, it doesn't hit the same.
Yep. Agreed. I
can't believe our one unpopular opinion is about Tamlin.
I know. What the heck?
Did you see there's a girl that has a Tamlin tattoo? She got it during the first book.
That's devastating.
Unfortunate, but...
I'm so sorry.
Don't hate him.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I was younger and I was first reading these series and I like fell in love with Rhysand, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'll never understand the people who like Tamlin. Like, and honestly,
same.
I've grown, guys. I've grown.
Sometimes I've seen fan art of Tamlin nowadays.
And I'm like, me too. And I'm like, dang.
Maybe we made a mistake. Just kidding. I think Rhysand's
No,
much more
definitely
attractive.
didn't make a mistake.
No, but
and Feyre belongs with Rhysand, but
yes, but still, it's not like he's hideous by any means.
He's definitely not hideous. No. But I also have a hard time with blonde male characters.
I do not.
I know you don't. Abby has a little taste for blonde. So.
I do. Blonde and long hair.
And I don't.
Or long hair. I love long hair. Cassian is my favorite. Cassian, Lorcan. Those are tall, dark, and Illyrian. Tall, dark, and Death God.
Yep.
But like the long hair, yeah.
Yeah.
So I could like Tamlin.
I can see it.
I could be a Tamlin girly. Oh, goodness.
I can see it. Oh, boy.
16-year-old me would have gagged.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
Well, anyways, that was our last unpopular opinion for the Sarah J. Maas universe. Thank you very much for joining us with both of these videos. I know they are long and there's a lot that we talked about and a lot to unpack. But thank you so much for joining. And if you liked this video, please let me know if you want anything similar for us to do again. We'd love to do it more. We were thinking about doing like a bookish one, or give us some topics and we'll run with it. And we'll do more. Thank you for watching. Bye.